Welcome to This Explainer. The entire foundation of our modern institutions relies heavily on trust, right? But in this fast-paced digital age, how do we actually verify that trust? Well, today we're unpacking a massive technological revolution happening right now across Canada. We're exploring what I like to call the guardian of integrity. We're going to examine exactly how artificial intelligence is completely transforming the verification of critical documents. We're talking experience letters, educational degrees, identity proofs, the whole shebang. We are literally flipping the script on document fraud. So let me ask you a question right up front. If I handed you a printed experience letter, or say an educational certificate right now, do you think you could spot a fake? And I'm not talking about some document with obvious spelling errors or a super blurry logo. No, I mean highly sophisticated, digitally altered credentials that look, feel, and read exactly like the real deal. It is a massive, high-stakes problem. And for most of us, honestly, the honest answer is, unfortunately, no way. Okay, moving into Section 1, the document fraud problem. Okay, let's dive into this. What are we actually dealing with here? When we talk about a fraudulent document in this context, we're talking about a forged or heavily altered piece of evidence. Think of an experience letter, an educational certificate, or an identity proof that's intentionally presented to some authority as 100% genuine. Look, these aren't just little white lies. These are fabricated keys specifically designed to unlock doors to employment, education, and even citizenship that a person simply hasn't earned. Let's look at how this builds into specific, targeted risks across our most critical sectors. Because document fraud isn't just an isolated thing. It actually permeates our most vital systems. Take immigration, for example. The key risk there is outright identity fraud, which completely compromises national security and border integrity. Then in employment, businesses face the very dangerous reality of hiring entirely unqualified individuals. And in education, well, institutions are battling a huge influx of falsified credentials. The impacts here are absolutely devastating. We're talking about staggering financial losses for businesses who accidentally hired the wrong person, completely ruined institutional reputations when the inevitable scandals break, and some very severe legal consequences. Which brings us to Section 2, why traditional methods fail. Historically, our main defense against all this has relied entirely on human effort. That means really tedious manual checks of paperwork, in-person interviews that rely way too heavily on gut instinct, and the agonizingly slow process of literally calling up universities or previous employers just to verify someone's claims. The fatal flaw of these legacy systems is, well, the human bottleneck. They are painfully slow and incredibly resource-intensive. Just imagine an admissions officer or a corporate HR manager reviewing their 1,000th application of the week. Eye fatigue sets in, attention wanes, it happens to all of us. We've actually seen real-world cases where perfectly forged degrees slipped right past exhausted HR teams. And the result? Completely unqualified individuals ending up handling highly sensitive corporate data. The traditional system it cannot keep pace with the modern fraudster. Now for the exciting part, Section 3, the AI verification revolution. And this brilliantly illustrates the staggering paradigm shift we're seeing. On one side, you have the agonizing slowness and high error rate of human verification, waiting days or even weeks just for a single email reply from an issuing body. But on the other side, you have the lightning speed and the microscopic, unwavering accuracy of artificial intelligence stepping in to completely solve those human bottlenecks. Actually, to put that speed into perspective, just consider this number: 2. AI technology is now capable of determining a document's authenticity in as little as 2 seconds. Literally 2 seconds to process, analyze, and verify what used to take human administrators weeks of chasing down phone calls and cross-referencing paper files. It is just an absolute game changer for operational efficiency. So, Section 4, how AI spots fakes? Let's look at the magic sequence of how AI deconstructs a file in mere milliseconds. First up, optical character recognition, or OCR, extracts the raw text directly from the image or PDF. Then, natural language processing steps in to analyze the context. It doesn't just read the words, it actually understands them, checking if the tone and phrasing match what's expected for that specific document. From there, machine learning algorithms go on the hunt for microscopic anomalies. We're talking patterns like unnatural pixel variations or slightly inconsistent font rendering that a human eye would never catch. Finally, the system instantly cross-references all of this against massive databases of known legitimate documents. Boom! It's a comprehensive digital interrogation all in the blink of an eye.
Now, what is absolutely crucial to understand here is that this is not static technology. This is a highly dynamic, evolving guardian. By constantly ingesting new training data, these AI systems continually learn and improve over time. So every single time a new type of fraud is attempted, the system absorbs that data, recognizes the new tactic, and gets even smarter for the next time. It's an ever-adapting defense mechanism that literally learns from its enemies.
Bringing it back down to earth. Here's Section 5, AI in the real world. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is this undeniable before and after picture of verification turnaround times. We are seeing major Canadian organizations drop their processing times from days or weeks down to literal seconds, all while simultaneously driving their accuracy rates through the roof. It represents a total, complete unblocking of institutional pipelines. And the real-world impact of that is just profound. AI implementation has drastically improved hiring practices and credential verification processes across Canada. Think about it. By removing that bottleneck of manual checks, organizations can hire faster, universities can admit students with absolute confidence, and the entire ecosystem becomes infinitely safer and more reliable. We're essentially slamming the door shut on bad actors while rolling out the red carpet for legitimate applicants. Finally, let's look ahead to Section 6, the future of verification. So, the crucial point is, AI isn't some flawless magic bullet. Because fraudsters are also out there using advanced tools to generate even better fakes, this is very much an ongoing arms race. Our systems require continual, really aggressive updates to combat new threat vectors. Plus, as we feed more and more data into these complex systems, we have to rigorously manage how that sensitive information is handled. We must ensure these verification platforms remain incredibly secure and fiercely protective of user privacy at all times. Ultimately, navigating all of these challenges really comes down to one core principle. The future requires a balance of advanced technology with human oversight. AI is tremendously powerful. It's perhaps the most capable tool we've ever had for verification. But it is just that, right? A tool. It does the heavy lifting, analyzing the data, flagging the anomalies, but human oversight remains a critical, absolute necessity for the final decision-making equation. We are augmenting human intelligence here, we're definitely not replacing it. So the main takeaway here is clear and urgent. Safeguard your integrity. If you're part of an organization that relies on the authenticity of documents, and let's face it, most are, the time to invest in AI technologies to enhance your fraud detection strategies is right now. Sticking to those old manual methods is no longer just a bit slow, it is an active vulnerability for your business. I'll leave you with this final thought to ponder. Think about your own organization, your own institution. Is your verification process really ready for the future? Are you still relying on tired eyes, or are you utilizing the tireless guardian of AI? Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep learning, keep questioning, and I will see you next time.